For the homemade paint recipe, you'll need the following materials. You will need a bowl, a whisk, it can be a big one or a small one. You will need your dry ingredient measuring cups. You will need a liquid measuring cup, flour, salt, and food coloring. And you will be using the liquid measuring cup to put a little bit of water in. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay guys, we're ready to make our homemade paint. Zeddy and I put on our aprons because this might be a little bit of a messy activity. So if you have an apron or an old shirt that you don't mind if it gets paint on it, this would be a good time to pause the video and put that on. You should roll up your sleeves if you have them so you don't get those dirty too. Okay, this is our recipe that we're going to be using today. And it says paint recipe. 1/4 cup of salt, 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of water, and some food coloring. The first thing we're going to do is mix the flour and salt in our bowl. Then we will add the food coloring to the water. And then we will use a whisk, or you could even use a fork if you don't have a whisk, to mix it all up with the flour and salt mixture until it's nice and smooth. And then you'll be ready to paint. All right, so I'm going to set this right here. All right, so we can follow our recipe. So the first thing we need is a 1/4 cup of salt. Now, most measuring cup sets come with 4 cups. The biggest one is 1 full cup. The smallest one is 1/2 of a cup. Okay, that means that 2 of these will fit in the big one, okay? So you need 2 halves to make a whole cup. So 2 of these will fit in the whole one, okay? Then we have the 1/3 cup. Now that means that 3 of these will fit in this big one. And then we last but not least, we have the 1/4 measuring cup. And that just means that 4 of these will fit in 1 regular cup, okay? So you need 4 1/4 cups to make 1 full cup, all right? So today for this activity, we are going to be using the 1/2 cup measuring cup and the 1/4 cup measuring cup. So I'm gonna put the other 2 to the side because we're not using those today, okay? Our first ingredient is 1/4 of a cup of salt. All right, so Zeddy, can you please put the whisk down so you can help me get the salt? We are going to fill this 1/4 measuring cup all the way up to the top.
I got this.
Okay? So when you pour salt, you want to turn it this way. Okay, and then you're going to just pour, 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 pour. Move your hands so we can see. Thank you. Pour it all the way till it's full. All right, it's very full. All right, guys, look at this. There's our 1/4 measuring cup full of salt. All right, so we're going to pour that into our bowl. Go ahead and pour that into the bowl. We'll move this out of the way. Pour that into the bowl, please, Zeddy. Thank you. All right, now the ingredients in this paint are safe to taste, but I don't know if you really want to taste salt or not. That's up to you.
Yeah, but
Our next ingredient is 1/2 cup of flour. So this was our 1/4 measuring cup. So this bigger one is our 1/2 measuring cup. And we are going to get 1/2 a cup of flour, and we are going to pour it in the bowl with the salt. All right, Zeddy, go ahead and dip that in there. We're going to fill it up. Now, when you do flour, it's a good idea to make sure that you get just the right amount. All right, so you're going to show that to the camera. Now look at that cup of flour. See how it's kind of coming over the top a little bit? That's called heaping. We want our flour to be level. So what we like to do here at our house is we'll take a butter knife, just not a very sharp knife, just a butter knife, and we will use it to level off the flour and make sure that it's even with the top of the measuring cup. That can be a little bit of a messy process, but now we have 1 level cup of flour, just like that. See how it's not coming off the top anymore? We can just leave that. It's okay if we make a little mess. We'll clean it up when we're all done. Please leave the mess here so we don't get it all over our floor, okay? Okay, can you please put that in with the salt? All right, Zeddy, you can go ahead and use the whisk to start whisking that up a little bit. Okay. We're making a little bit of a mess. That's okay. We've got our aprons on. We can clean up when we're done. Okay, the next step is, let's see. So first it said mix flour and salt in bowl. Did you mix those up?
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take our liquid measuring cup, and you're going to fill that with half a cup of water. See right there? That says half a cup. It's a 1/2. Okay, now a full cup would be all the way to the 1, but we only need a half a cup, okay? And that's about the same as that half measuring cup that we used over here. These ones are for solids. This glass one is for liquids. All right, so the next thing it says is add your food coloring to your water. So we got to pick which color we want to make. What color paint should we make today, Zeddy?
Can you let me see? Can you let me
Just
see?
choose a color, please.
Mm.
Remember, we can mix, if you want like orange or purple, you can mix some of these colors up to make other colors. Okay, so do we want to choose red, blue, green, or yellow? Or do we want to choose one of the secondary colors like purple or orange?
Orange.
Zeddy's favorite color is orange, so we're going to do orange. Do you remember which two colors we mixed to make orange,
Mommy,
Zeddy?
can you tell me? Because I don't want to know.
You forgot? That's okay. Sometimes we forget. That's why we do these fun activities. To make orange, you are going to mix red and
Green.
yellow.
Yellow.
Okay, red and yellow mixed together to make orange.
Can you let me?
All right,
know
so
those
now
two colors?
we are going to do, now if you want to make orange, you only want a little bit of red and you want to do more yellow, okay? So first, we will do one little drop of red. Can you use your other hand, please? Thank you.
Like that.
One little drop of red. It's not going to take much. There we go.
Mommy, can you
And
let
then
me
we're going to do like maybe 2 or 3 drops of the yellow. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
I
do
do.
2 or 3 drops. Squeeze it real gently because food coloring comes out fast and a little bit goes a long way. So we squeeze it really gently. 2. 1 more. 3. Okay. Now, look at that.
Can you let me whisk it?
We can take our whisk out of the powder and whisk that together a little bit.
Can you
Go ahead and whisk it together a little bit, Zeddy. Okay. And I'm going to hold it up and show it to the kids, okay? Ooh, look, there's a beautiful looking orange. You guys see that? All right, our next step says to pour the colored water into your flour and salt mixture. So you're going to go ahead and pour that in very carefully. All right. There we go. And then we're going to use our whisk and whisk it together until it's smooth. So go ahead and take your whisk, Zeddy, and you're going to mix, 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 mix. Ooh, it's turning kind of a beautiful color. I'm going to give you guys a close-up look here of what's going on. Keep on stirring, Zeddy. Looking good. Ooh, it's kind of a nice light orange color.
Or we could do like orange.
And there you have it. We have a
Yeah.
pretty thick paint. Now, if your paint is too thick, you can always add a little bit more water to make it a little bit thinner.
All
Alright, so look, we've got our paint is super, super thick. So we're actually going to add a little bit more water to ours. Okay.
Can you let me pour a little more in? And you can fill it up.
Alright, we're going to do about 1/4 of a cup more water, which is right there. See the 1/4?
Yeah.
It takes 4 of these to make 1 full cup.
Okay, let me.
Alright, so Zeddy, pour in just a little bit at a time. We might not use it all. Just do a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. And then we'll stir.
I want to miss.
Give it a stir. Yep, and you're just going to keep doing that until your paint is the right consistency.
Yeah, but we're doing it right.
Alright. Okay, now we're going to show you how to make more than one color of paint. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix up your ingredients the same way as before. You're going to get your salt. There's our 1/4 cup of salt. Alright. You're going to get your flour. Remember to make it level and not heaping. your half cup of water. Although last time we ended up adding in a little bit more. And you're gonna, now this time, rather than putting your food coloring in the water, you're just gonna put it right into the bowl. And you're gonna whisk it up. Okay. And it's still really thick, so we're gonna add a little bit more water again. I think we ended up using about 3/4 of a cup of water for our last one. All right, not 3/4, sorry, about 3/4 actually. Sorry guys. Okay, so you're gonna keep adding water until it's the right consistency. And now this time, you're going to take a muffin pan and you're going to do scoops. You can use your 1/4 measuring cup to do this. And you're going to scoop some in each part of the muffin pan. Just like this. So see that? I'm putting a little bit in each one. Okay, and then you can just add your food coloring straight into the paint when it's in the muffin pan. And that way you can do different colors. Okay. Okay, and then once you have all of your paint divided equally among the muffin tin, you can add your colors. All right, so which color should we do first? And you're just going to want 1 or 2 drops in each, not a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Give it a squeeze. Okay, that's good. Now give it a little whisk.
Yeah, this one?
Yep, you're going to whisk it up. And now, voila, we have blue paint in that one. And then you'll do the same thing for the other ones. Which color should we do next?
Let me see.
That's yellow. So we'll make some yellow paint. We have a lot of orange paint. We put all of our orange paint in that jar there. So we'll make some other colors. There's yellow. Now yellow, you want to do a couple drops too. All right. And then you'll probably want to rinse your whisk off in between doing your colors, or you might get a little bit of a different color. So we had a little green on our whisk, so we might get our yellow just a little bit greenish. If you don't want your colors to mix, just rinse your whisk off in between, or your fork, or whatever you're using to mix. Okay, we've got all of our colors. We've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and really dark purple. Okay, and we are ready to paint. When Zeddy and I paint, we like to have a little cup of water and like a napkin or a washcloth of some sort to clean our brush off in between. So that way we don't mix our colors up. So when Zeddy's all done with red, he will dip his brush in the water and then he will dab the excess water off on the napkin. One important thing to remember with this paint recipe is to keep it in the refrigerator when you're not using it. Okay, Zeddy, can you show us how you clean your brush off with the water? Can you show us how the washcloth and the water work real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to dip in the water. He's going to swish it around, get it nice and clean.
Until I come through pink water.
Yep, and your water's going to turn some kind of funny colors. You can always refresh it later if it gets really icky. And then you're going to dab it on that napkin and get all the water off. And now he's ready to dip in a new color. Which new color will he choose? Oh, he's going to choose yellow.
Quatzalotto. Who do you remember me?
All right. Yep, and you guys can just have fun with this paint. I'll show you lots of different ways that you can use it over the next week or two. All right, here's our finished product. What did you paint, Zeddy?
All kinds of colors of ice cream. So I did yellow, red, and blue, and green, and purple, and orange.
Orange?
Yeah. all the white cars.
All the colors of race cars. Cool. Super fun.
Yeah.